In this lesson, we're going to be focusing on how to evaluate piecewise functions. So we're given this function x squared when x is less than 0 and 2x plus 1 when x is greater than or equal to 0. So let's evaluate f of negative 2, f of 0, and f of 2. So what do you think is the answer to these questions? And in each case, which of the functions are we going to use? Are we going to use x squared or 2x plus 1? Now, first of all, let's check the x value we're given in this function. Here, we're given f of negative 2. We see that negative 2 is less than 0, alright? So because negative 2 is less than 0, we're going to make use of this function, which is x squared. So f of negative 2 is simply plugging in negative 2 into this function. So it's going to be negative 2 squared, which is equals to 4. Negative 2 times negative 2 is equals to 4. Now, what about f of 0? Well, here x is greater than or equal to 0. And so x can be equal to 0 or more than 0. So we're going to make use of this function 2x plus 1. So let's plug in 0 into this function or expression. So it's going to be 2 times 0 plus 1 equals to 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is equals to 1. So f of 2, here x is greater than or equal to 2, and so 2 fall within this range. So we're going to make use of this 2x plus 1 again. So let's plug in the value of 2 into this function. So you have 2 multiplied by 2 plus 1. 2 times 2 is equals to 4. 4 plus 1 is equals to 5. So this is how to evaluate piecewise function. Let's look at another example. So we're given this function f of x is equals to x squared plus 2 when x is less than negative 1, and x plus 5 when x is greater than or equal to negative 1. So let's evaluate f of 0, f of 1, f of negative 1. Now f of 0 fall within this range because 0 is less than negative 1. So I'm going to make use of this function here. So we plug in 0 into this expression. We have 0 squared plus 2, which is equals to 2. So what about f of 1? I want to pause this video and try the rest of this question. So 1 fall within this range. X is greater than or equals to negative 1. So we're going to make use of this function, x plus 5. So we have 1 plus 5, replacing x with 1. This is equals to 6. What of f of negative 1? So negative 1 fall within this range. Here x is greater than or equal to negative 1. So we're going to be making use of this function here, x plus 5. So let's plug in 1, or negative 1 rather, into x plus 5. So we have negative 1 plus 5. 5 minus 1 is equals to 6. Let's find f of 2 again, right? Yeah, let's find f of 2. So here 2 falls within this range because 2 is greater than or equal to negative 1. So we make use of this function. It's going to be 2 plus 5. 2 plus 5 is equals to 7. This is all about how to evaluate piecewise functions. Let's solve the last one. We're given f of x is equals to x squared plus 3x when x is less than negative 2. Then we have x squared plus 2x when x is in between negative 2 and 3. So basically x is greater than or equals to negative 2 but less than 3. And then we have 2x plus 5 when x is greater than or equals to 4. So with this information, we have to evaluate f of negative 3, f of -1, f of 5, f of 2, and f of 6. So I want you to pause this video and try out this question. When you are done solving it, you pause it. So f of -3, when x is -3, which formulas are we going to use here, or functions are we going to use here? So let's evaluate f of -3. So know that -3 fall within this range because -3 is less than -2. So we're going to plug in -3 into this function here. So we have -3 square plus 3 multiplied by -3. So -3 square is equals to 9, then plus and minus is minus, 3 times 3 is 9, so this is equals to 0. Next is f of -1. Now f of -1 is greater than or equals to -2 and less than 3. Alright, -1 is greater than -2 because going down the number line you see -1 first before -2. So we're going to be making use of this function here. So let's plug in -1 into that. We have -1 square plus, that is 2x, right? 2 times -1. So -1 square is equals to 1. Then plus times minus is minus. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 minus 2 is equals to -1. So this is the answer to this question. So what about f of 5? Now 5 fall within this range. X is greater than or equals to 4. So we're going to be making use of this function here. So let's plug in 5 into this function. We have 2 multiplied by 5 plus 5. 2 times 5 is equals to 10 plus 5. 10 plus 5 is equals to 15. And then this is the answer to this question. Let's find f of 2. So when x is 2, which of these functions are we going to use, or formulas? Now x is greater than or equals to -2 and less than 3. So 2 falls within this range. So we're going to be using this formula to find the value of f of 2. So let's plug in 2 into this formula. So you have 2 square plus 2 multiplied by 2. 2 square is equals to 4 plus 2 times 2 is equals to 4. 4 plus 4 is equals to 8. And then this is the answer for this. So what about f of 6? When x is equals to 6, it falls within this range. X is greater than or equals to 4. So we make use of this formula. So we have 2 multiplied by 6 plus 5. 2 times 6 is 12. Half plus 5. 12 plus 5 is equals to 17. And so this is the answer to this question. So this is all about evaluating piecewise functions. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, drop a comment, like this video, and share it with your friends. See you in my next video.